listening to We Watch Movies,
I'm Ava,
and I'm Jenna.
and we watch movies. So this week we watched The Royal Treatment, which came out, I believe, last Thursday on Netflix. It is the latest Netflix Laura Morano rom-com situation going on. So it stars, obviously, Laura Morano and Maina Masood, who you might know from the live-action Aladdin. And basically, it's this girl from New York who's a hairdresser who catches the eye of a handsome prince. And she gets flown out to his kingdom, where he's about to get married to a woman that he doesn't love. And then love wins in the end. Oops, sorry, spoilers. But yeah, love wins in the end. So, I mean, as you can tell, it's probably not the most groundbreaking plot. But yeah, so we're gonna talk about it. Jenna, what were your initial reactions?
This is definitely not a movie I would have watched pretty much under any other circumstances. No offense to this movie or anyone who enjoys this genre. Just not for me. And while I didn't like this movie, I didn't hate it. Tried. Didn't really work. Didn't take. It wasn't good.
I agree with like your assessment. There were it definitely could have been worse. I've definitely seen worse movies in this genre. I've definitely seen better movies in this genre. There were definitely things that irked me. For instance, like the prince didn't have an accent. His country didn't even have like a consistent accent.
Oh my god, the country was all over the place. Don't even get me started.
Okay, they were using German words, but any of the characters that had accents were either British or French. But, like, theoretically, this was somewhere around Germany. Like, what? Like, it was, like, Eastern European-ish, somewhere around there, right?
Like, I'm so bad. They have a globe there, right? Like, this globe is important enough in the movie. And they didn't even, like, fake a country on there to give us an idea. Someone, like, asked, like, oh, where even is this country anyway? And then they give, like, another, like, fictional country. I think it's fictional. I don't remember. I thought it was fictional, though. And it's just, why?
What if it's just not fictional and you're just dumb?
I genuinely don't remember the line of dialogue. So if it was a real country, I'm just misremembering it.
Don't worry, Jenna's not dumb, so it probably wasn't. But no, I am a strong proponent, or I don't even know if that's the right word, of thorough world building. You know, like, I mean, it just, like, the parts of the story that I couldn't get behind were mostly based off of their lack of world building. Like, this country didn't have a language, didn't have an accent, it didn't have... And I mean, I know that a lot of countries have mixed languages and stuff, but, like, usually there are accents, regional accents even. And they're using... They described one of the places in their country as the Uber de Glis, I believe. I'm not pronouncing that well, which is kind of a problem because I'm trying to learn German, but, like, we're gonna ignore that. But no, so they're using German terminology to describe a location in their country, but not a single person in this movie was German. Like, not one. Like, nobody had even a remotely German accent, and it was like, okay, y'all. And every time that there is something that's like, oh, the royalty, like the monarchy is penniless. You know, I mean, they collect taxes from their entire country, and obviously a country can fall into debt and stuff. But, like, I find it hard to believe that like an actual monarchy would be 100% broke, that the prince can't buy ice cream, and then all of their money problems could be solved by a rich American family from Texas. You know what I mean? Like, they don't really have a very well thought out financial system or like government system in this fictional world. They don't have much in terms of like an actual consistent culture. I mean, they have a national dance, but like, I don't know. And it was weird. Like, there wasn't much for me to grasp onto in this like made up town. Um which was kind of disappointing because like fictional worlds are great, you know? You just got to make them like an actual world that people can fantasize about and want to like visit and stuff. Whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, you know what the world building in this movie was? It only existed when the plot needed it. Oh, we don't strictly need this for the plot? Well, guess we just won't come up with it. Like, really? Go. Give me absolutely nothing.
Like, I mean, think about it. Why do you think people get so invested in like, and obviously this is a completely different genre and a completely different scenario, but why are people so invested in like Harry Potter or like Lord of the Rings or like Game of Thrones? I could name like a tons and tons of these, but like why?
Because they can actually get absorbed in it and fantasize about that world, and it exists in a larger way than a piece of fiction typically could.
Exactly. You know, have you ever seen Princess Protection Program?
I'm familiar with it.
That used to be my favorite Disney Channel original movie growing up. Selena Gomez and Demi Lovato are Demi Lovato is a princess and Selena Gomez is a girl from Louisiana, and they like become friends or whatever. But their fictional country was Costa Luna. And I mean, I was able to get behind their world building better than this one. And Costa Luna was like not a huge, like, they didn't develop it very much, but it had like what seemed to be a consistent culture, as consistent as you can get from a Disney Channel original movie. But like, I mean, as you can see, my standards are very high, set by Princess Protection Program. But yeah, no, I mean, when you can have like both of these movies, I would say are kind of like on the same tier in terms of like intellectual like stimulation. But yeah, I don't know. Costa Luna was more plausible, I thought, than Lavania.
Oh, that's what it was called. I knew it started with an L and had like a IA at the end of it, but I was like, what? What is it? I watched this movie a week ago for reference, and as you can see, very memorable to me. Very memorable.
Also just salty that the prince didn't have an accent because, well, obvious reasons. I mean, if you know, you know. Like,
Okay.
if I didn't come for like an American Prince of Lavania, you know what I mean?
Not personally, but I can see where you're coming from.
You know, I should, if I, okay, you know what, I should just watch Aladdin instead of this. You know what I mean? Because then, you know, then I don't need to deal with Laura Marano playing the same role every time she's in a movie. You know what I mean? Like,
See, this is like the only movie I've seen with her in it, so I don't have that problem. Like, she didn't bother me too much. I mean, her character is really silly, but I wasn't too annoyed. If I had seen more movies with her, maybe I would have, but
I mean, she's not, I wouldn't say that she is like terrible, but she like, she always plays a manic pixie dream girl. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
Because I I saw her in The Perfect Date with Noah Centineo in the Centineo verse. And it was just another one of those, oh, I'm different. I'm going to show this male protagonist what it's like to actually love somebody and not be super shallow. And it was just one of those movies, and I'm like, okay, that's all well and good, but can you show me something else? Like, can you be someone else? Like, I disliked her character in The Perfect Date more than I disliked Izzy, but I still, like, I don't know, I guess Izzy was fine, but it's the same kind of character. I'm like, ma'am, I'm sure you can do more. Like, I'm sure there are other things that you can, like, other roles that you can play other than the same person over and over again, but, like, okay, give me nothing, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know, and I wish we had gotten more screen time between the two main characters and them hanging out. Which, I mean, we did have a good amount of that. I've seen other movies where, like, they don't hang out at all, but that I'm supposed to believe that they're in love. But I wish we would have got some time between the two of them that maybe didn't always, like, talk about, like, bang over the head of the audience, like, oh, look, he doesn't understand his country, and oh, look, she wants to help kids. Like, can we have other parts of their personalities? Because those didn't exist in this movie. So I wish we could have, like, just fleshed out their characters more.
Just thank goodness that she didn't end up getting married at the end of this movie. Because that would have made me mad. I mean, like, fine. I understand if you don't want to get married to a girl you, like, barely know, and if you want to pursue things with this girl that is intriguing to you. But as long as they don't get married at the end. Because you can only do that if you're, like, Disney and it's animated. That's the only time I'll allow it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I like how the ending of this movie was just, like, them formally, like, going into a relationship and not so much ending in marriage, because, like, not everything has to end in marriage in terms of movies, but then also in real life. But it would have been
status.
Yeah, like, I feel like that's way more realistic too, to just, like, the pacing of a relationship. And we had enough wedding stuff going on in this movie. We don't need more.
I just like to think about what would happen after they, like, move in together in New York or something, and this prince, who's apparently not super spoiled or whatever, starts to realize that he actually is super spoiled. And then Izzy's like, oh man, I can't deal with you anymore, and then they break up, and then he goes running home to mommy and daddy.
Dang, you're optimistic today.
Today's great.
What I want to know is, who did the dramatic male love interest on a horse riding off to the female love interest main character better? This, the royal treatment, or He's All That from last year?
Oh god, this. Okay.
I remember that both of them had a horse, and I was like, wait a minute. Netflix, you gotta stop reusing your romantic tropes.
Well, I mean, they all got it from The Princess Bride, so.
Oh, true.
So Wesley is the number one. Aladdin is number 2. And Kid from Cobra Kai is number 3. Bang, bang, bang. Done. Okay, but wait. Okay, another thing that bothered me. So his fiance, Lauren, I liked how they handled her. She didn't want to get married either, and then he was like, oh, I don't want to get married. She's like, yeah, me neither. And it was, like, good. But I really didn't like that her ambitions and her goals were so ditzy. You know what I mean? Like they made all of the character development we got from her was like, oh, she wants to make dog purses. But like obviously they were using that as a gag, because she was like, oh, I want to start a studio and I want to make purses for so that dogs can carry around their treats and their toys and everything. And I'm like, is that just because if you gave this girl real goals, then Laura Marano's character wouldn't be appealing enough? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like if they had given like one scene, because the prince also like isn't, how do I want to phrase this? The prince isn't a tool, so it's not like he was ever mean to her. So I feel like he would have actually tried to like spend time with her outside of wedding plans to actually try and get to know his bride to be. But they never like had a scene between the two of them where like if they had actually given her, I mean, if they had given anyone a personality in this movie would have been better. But if they had like given her like something and not made her just a joke, like why? Why not? Why does she just have to be a joke in this movie? And like why?
Like
Decisions were made.
even if they wanted to give her something that was like more traditionally, like, I don't know, girly, or like, oh, Legally Blonde-ish. Well, actually no, not Legally Blonde, but like Elwood's pre-Harvard, you know what I mean? If they wanted to like make her out to be like that kind of character, they still could have given her like substance. You know what I mean? Like obviously like Elwood, she had substance, you know what I mean? Um that I'm sorry, I'm not like making good connections right now, but it's fine. But like if they wanted to keep her within that like realm, I guess they could have made her just want to be a fashion designer or something, which is a completely fine goal to have. Or even if she wanted to be specifically a dog fashion designer, fine, do that. But they gave her something that was actually like ridiculous that nobody would buy and would have no reason to like be made. And like I'm just like, okay, she can have substance and not be right for the prince. They don't need to get married even if she has desirable qualities. Like, I know she's pretty, okay, and giving her ambition would make her stiff competition for pretty and ambition, aka Izzy. But like, I guess you just gotta figure out how to properly write, enough chemistry between the two characters that you want to end up together, and a lack of chemistry between the two characters you don't want to end up together, so that the audience isn't rooting for the wrong person, rather than just making the wrong person completely ditzy and shallow, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, even if, like, you just don't have to frame it as a joke. Like, she's allowed to have her own ambitions and not want to get married. Like, why can't she and the prince have an actual conversation about that? I would prefer that over a haha funny, she has a stupid idea and that's why the prince doesn't like her. Like, yay. Love this so much. So good, guys.
And I mean, that whole scene, I really didn't like how he behaved in that scene too, because he was just straight up ignoring her.
Yeah.
I'm like, sir, you're like you're not even giving her a chance. You're not even trying to get to know her. Like, you've known her about as long as you've known Izzy, but you're giving Izzy a chance and not this girl that you're supposed to get married to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, it just made the prince less attractive, especially because, like, there was no reason for his character to be like that. Especially because, like, he wasn't, like, a jerk throughout the whole movie, where I could at least be like, well, at least it's consistent. No, like, it didn't make any sense for them to do that. Like, we knew the prince liked her already. You didn't have to go and do that, too. The prince was, I don't know, he was kind of just stale. I mean, I know he is good looking, and he does have some charm. However, he doesn't really have a character, so how am I supposed to like him?
Yeah, like all of his like the things that he accomplished in the movie were Izzy's ideas. and he didn't actually end up doing anything to fix the financial problem in his country or anything. His entire character arc, I guess, was just like fall in love with Izzy and be a prince. It like the prince can have substance too. Just because he's not the main manic pixie dream girl character doesn't mean that he can't have substance. And Lauren can have substance and he can have substance. And maybe he should have just married Lauren.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The more I think about this movie, just the more it falls apart. And it just, why? Why didn't you, try with this movie at all? I don't think they tried. I think Netflix was like, shoot, guys, we need another rom-com. What can we do? And then they made this.
You know what they tried? Or when they tried, what they put their full effort into?
What?
That absolute masterpiece of a remake of I Wanna Dance with Somebody.
I didn't even know what song it was until it got to the chorus, and I was like, oh, how dare you.
I know, they even changed part of the lyrics.
Yeah.
And they just morphed the song. It's like it wasn't even close enough to be like a cover. They changed so much, and they changed the entire verses stuff, and they just made it icky. Like, it wasn't even a Laura Marano cover of Whitney Houston. It was, I'm going to defile Whitney Houston's amazing work and steal it and make it awful. I'm like, no, this is not allowed. I am mad now.
Yeah, it was honestly, I was like, I can't even attempt to have a nice emotion about the end of this movie because I'm like, oh god, just turn the volume down. Can we hit the credits so I can walk away? Jeez. What was that? Why did they think that was a good idea? It didn't even make sense anyway for the movie. I feel like there could have been better songs, but no, they went with something generic that made their point, I guess, but then they chose the worst possible version of it.
They chose that version because that's Laura Marano's version.
Oh, that hasn't escaped me, Ava.
And she has had a incredible music career ever since Austin and Ally.
Can you clarify your tone on that? I couldn't tell.
Okay, well, you know what Austin and Ally is?
Yeah.
Okay,
I have watched that.
You know how they kind of tried to give her a music career like Disney does with every one of their girls?
Yeah.
And all the times that you hear her on the radio now, and all the times that she's won Grammys.
Okay, you were being sarcastic, I see.
Yes, I was.
I couldn't tell that time. Sometimes I can tell, other times I can't.
Yeah, I don't... What? Okay, also, why do Netflix need to give us, or why does Netflix need to keep giving us Prince meets random girl shows Prince the true meaning of love movies? You know what I mean? Like, Cinderella did it first. So...
I mean, it's just, even if you want to go with a prince meets girl and learns lessons from her, there are so many more interesting stories you could tell. They can be a romantic comedy if you want, but they don't have to fall in love. I mean, just there are so many more options that would be so great. But instead, you just choose the most generic one that we've seen 50 times. And are some of them good? Yeah, sure, probably. But, be creative. Do something different, please.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Okay, yeah, so onto the whole half of the, like, not hating this movie. So, like, in terms of not hating it, it was just, I didn't have to think while I was watching it, I guess. Like, it was something that I could put on the TV and it didn't bore me and stuff. You know, how do I put this? Because, like, I liked some things about it. Like, there were things that I didn't hate about it, but I just can't verbalize them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm having a lot easier of a time verbalizing all of my grievances with this movie rather than saying anything I liked about it. But I swear I didn't hate this movie. I didn't like it as a whole. There were things about it that I guess were okay. But I just can't think of any right now.
Yeah, I mean, some of it was, I mean, I don't want to say charming. Like, all the things I come up with to say sound, like, too nice. So I guess take all this with a grain of salt. Like, some of it was charming. I wasn't completely bored while watching this movie. I was engaged to a certain degree. I didn't mind the two main characters. I guess loosely calling them characters. Oh, there goes my earbud. Okay, we're back. And I don't know. I mean, I guess the basic idea of, like, oh, you get hired to go to this wedding and you get paid like 50,000. What was it, like $50,000? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's fun. Although, like, the castle looked more like a log cabin. So thanks, set designers. Like, what budget do you have, and why was this what you did with it?
You know what other characters? Sorry, back to the bat. You know what other characters that I just remembered that they didn't give any character to?
Well, I mean, there's just too many to pick from, Ava.
The friends.
Oh, yeah.
They made it so that they could only do, like, trashy hair and makeup. And I'm not saying trashy as in, like, actually trashy, but, like, to the French lady, right? When, like, actually any qualified hairstylist can do whatever style. And they were like, oh my gosh, we're gonna make it so funny that they can't even paint nails without adding glitter, and keep, like, and, like, not cry about it, because that's all they can do is just bright colors and tacky stuff or something. And that's not even always tacky. It really depends on, like, how you use it and everything. But, like, that was literally their character. What?
Quote, unquote. Like, undignified. Quote,
yeah.
unquote.
But yeah, so I was like, okay, I don't know why you have to, first of all, talk about, like first of all, paint the styles that they, you know, wear in their hair and everything and on their nails as, like you said, quote unquote, undignified 100% of the time. But then also make it seem like hair stylists or makeup artists from, like, their walks of life only can do that style, when, like, they could do quote unquote dignified if they wanted to. I don't know, it's like the only capable person they put in this entire movie was Izzy. And that bothers me. That bothers me so much.
Well, yeah, and it's also just annoying too, because it's not so much that, like, they, like, the two hairdressers were incapable. It's just that they couldn't grasp that's not what people wanted, and it just got so tiring for them to repeat that plot point over and over again. Like, it was never funny. Like, it wasn't even funny the first time. I truly didn't care. And I don't want to say the friends were meaningless in this movie, However, the friends were meaningless in this movie, and you really could have just sent her or just focused on Izzy herself without the friends, I'm sorry to say. Could have used their screen
Yeah.
time to actually develop any of your actual important main characters.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of N-log propaganda in this. Because, you know, they had a couple different stereotypical women, and then they had the N-log main character who gets the prince and like saves this town or whatever. And I'm like, okay, y'all, it's just not even. It just bothers me, you know. You can't bolster one character by tearing down the other characters. And see, that's another thing. Like, I'm gonna go back to Legally Blonde for a second here. You know, you have what's her name? The second girl, Vivian, I think. You have Vivian, and then you have Elle, and they are both, by the end of the movie, shown to be capable, even though they have different styles. They have different ways of like carrying themselves and whatever, and they do things differently. But they're both extremely capable women. They're both intelligent, and they're still different, you know? But like, and that's like the worst part about this whole like not like other girls trope and everything, and it's why I hate it so much. It's just because like it's just another way of tearing women down instead of like building them up. And it's like a kind of, yeah, it's just misogynistic B word, you know?
Yeah, like just give women actual characters and not caricatures, please. Thank you.
And side characters can be characters too, let's not forget about that. And princes can have depth beyond their daddy's money, you know what I mean? Like,
Just, I think, to boil it down simply so Netflix understands, things can have depth, please.
just make sure that the depth is like understandable to us. Well, not just us, but like audience members, so that it doesn't end up like The Lost Daughter and we're not sitting there like, I don't get it.
Yeah, there's a distance. There's a difference. And, like, you have to have depth so that it actually just doesn't wrap around and become the same thing as no depth, because then you've accomplished nothing.
Exactly. But like, okay, back to the so from the bad to the good again. Sorry, I'm flip-flopping. I'm kind of all over the place today. I do sometimes enjoy a good Netflix rom-com kind of thing. It's kind of like a guilty pleasure sometimes, you know what I mean? And like, so when I don't think about the story and I don't think about what I'm watching, I like it, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that happens with like, oh yeah, To All the Boys. I've enjoyed those. So,
Yeah, no, To All the Boys was
I don't
good,
think I
and
can
I mean,
say
I
I
don't
enjoyed The
begrudge
Kissing
people their Netflix rom-coms.
Yeah, but like I don't think I
I can either.
watched I watched The Kissing Booth, and I didn't despise watching it. I'm not gonna say it was good, but like I watched it. And like, you know, it's kind of like creeping up on that one day in February when I like sit on my couch by myself and watch movies like this. And so like, I don't know, it's like, if this had came out later in the year, maybe it would have been better. Maybe if it was like a Valentine's Day movie. So what else did I watch? I watched another one. Oh my gosh. Oh no, we watched Holiday that one time.
Oh
And
God,
I
I
actually liked
forgot
that
about
one. That
that.
one was I liked that one. I did. I swear. I don't remember what I said about it on the podcast. If you guys wanna hear what I said about it on the podcast, you can go listen to that episode. That one's from like a while ago, but I actually did enjoy watching that one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really remember it. I don't think I enjoyed it that much, but I also probably didn't hate it, if this is my reaction, so I think we're good.
I mean, both characters had flaws and both characters had like strengths. You know what I mean? So like everybody kind of had like character at least. So that was a good bit.
That is true.
I'm kind of excited for like more rom-coms to come out or whatever. And not even just rom-coms, because so last Valentine's Day, the map of tiny perfect things came out. And I watched that and I thought it was really good. And that was what's her name? Oh my gosh. Olivia Newton? Is it Olivia? Hang on. The map of time perfect things under. Catherine Newton. Oh my god. Why was I saying Olivia? No, it's Catherine Newton and Kyle Allen. And this year there's and so that one I really liked. It's like a kind of teen romance drama, and there's like a little bit of like supernatural spice put in there. You know, they're like in a time loop kind of situation. And then so Kyle Allen is in another movie that's a kind of a teen romance drama that's also got a little bit of a supernatural spin on it, that's also coming out Valentine's Day today. Or not today, this year. This year, not this day. So it's basically the map of tiny perfect things round 2. It's called The In-Between, I think. And I'm excited for that one to come out. And I'm also excited to watch my annual Valentine's Day movie, which happens to be Jack and the Cuckoo Clock Heart, which is pretty amazing. And yeah, I know we weren't talking about Valentine's Day. I just kind of went on a tangent here. But yeah.
When I'm not busy, I watch Inception on Valentine's Day. I haven't since they took it off Netflix, but that was my tradition.
That's I'm not gonna knock it, but that's a pretty random choice, man.
I don't know. I had a Leonardo Dicaprio phase when I started that tradition.
Oh!
And I also just really like Inception, so just became my Valentine's Day movie. Why I admitted that on the internet, I will never know. But anyway, I'm kind of over it now. Sorry, Leo.
Kind of?
But I mean, like, I don't dislike him now. But, like, I'm kind of over it. He's a little overrated, maybe. But I do like his movies.
I see. Okay. This is new information.
Really? I swear you would have worn me down enough to tell you that.
You didn't even bring that up when we were doing Don't Look Up.
Oh, well, yeah, because I didn't really like him in that movie because then he cheated on his wife, so.
Oh.
I mean, like, his fictional
I thought he
wife.
did a good job, though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I think Leonardo DiCaprio is pretty great. I don't necessarily like him that way, but...
Well, I mean, I don't anymore. I was
yeah.
a misguided youth.
A misguided youth. You are calling a lot of people misguided right now.
Well, no, you can like who you like. We're over
Not
that
right
now.
for you. Not right for you.
Yes.
I don't know. We'll have to see if certain movie ends up on Disney Plus before Valentine's Day, because that could be added to my marathon this year. So we'll see how that pans out.
Which movie?
We did this movie on the channel, and I mean I own another one of this movie, but not this version. Which I'll probably, if this one ends up on Disney Plus, I'll watch both versions on Valentine's Day.
Okay.
Okay. No, but I'm kind of looking forward to my little Valentine's Day watch-a-thon. You know what I mean?
Unfortunately, Valentine's Day is on a Monday this year.
Who cares? Psh, nobody cares. I will be... Ugh, wait, I might have something that night, but like not actual fun stuff. Well, it depends what actual fun but okay, not like something I'm obligated to be at, not something that I'm like making plans with friends. As in, yeah, so that's what I mean about that. I can't talk today. This is a problem for a co-host of a podcast, my inability to formulate coherent sentences, because I mean I'm able to run my mouth for an hour still, but like I'm not making good thoughts today. So for anybody who's this is your first time listening, I promise I don't think I sound like this every time. Correct me if I'm wrong, but like I think I'm generally more articulate.
Nah, I think you're at like my level of articulation right now. I think we're good.
Your level of articulation right now, or your always level of articulation?
My always level.
Okay, that's just not true though.
Maybe my level
Because
when we first started the podcast. I've developed.
We've both developed though. No, our first episode is so awkward.
Oh, I deliberately don't listen to it.
If anybody wants to hear us being really awkward, go listen to our first episode of our podcast, because that was like our first full-blown conversation.
No, we had full-blown conversations, but it had been a while.
Not like hour-long, full-blown, legit conversations, though. About things that weren't school-related.
True.
I just kind of was, I feel like we told the story before, but I was like, Jenna, I want to start a podcast. She was like, okay. And then we did.
This podcast is a social experiment.
I mean, yeah. And, you know what? Okay, to get back onto the topic of this movie, Jenna, other than the fact that it made Whitney Houston turn around in her grave, what did you think of the soundtrack?
What soundtrack, Ava? What soundtrack? I don't remember. There was maybe some Italian songs. I guess they were good. I don't know. I can't really judge Italian songs.
I have a Spotify playlist of Italian songs, and my playlist is called Biscotti. It's pretty great. It's if I ever want to feel like I'm in Lady and the Tramp. I watched that one on Valentine's Day last year too. That was a good one. Makes me want to eat spaghetti. As a dog. With another dog. But like, that's besides the point. You know?
Interesting.
Okay, tell me that Lady and the Tramp doesn't make...
But I think... I think I'd prefer to stay a person for that activity. I like
You
forks
what?
and knives too much.
Oh, you like forks and knives too? Okay. Well, I think that's a you problem. Because if that scene doesn't make you want to eat spaghetti, like, viciously, then you're not correct.
You know, Ava, I might
What?
be wrong about this, but I don't think I've ever watched Lady and the Tramp all the way through.
Jenna? Are you kidding?
I'm not. I'm trying to think, but I don't think I have.
Jenna! Jenna, you don't. Oh my god! So you never saw the Siamese cat song?
I think I'm familiar with it vaguely, but no.
We are Siamese, if you please. We
No.
are Siamese.
I've heard of
if
it.
you don't please. Now we're looking over our new domicile. If we like it, we may stay for quite a while. That's a great song. I love that song. That's like the second best part in the whole movie, second to the spaghetti scene.
Well, okay then.
Not that you would know that. You haven't
Well,
seen
well,
it!
but I'll accept it.
Everybody, leave a like if Jenna should watch Lady and the Tramp. And if Jenna shouldn't watch Lady and the Tramp, leave a like. We can use the what?
I see what you did there.
Yeah, so we can use the I'll just be able to look and see who liked it, and then we'll be able to tell whether or not Jenna should watch Lady and the Tramp. So, yeah. Just do that. And then Jenna will or will not watch Lady and the Tramp, depending. I'm gonna go in and like it a couple times to make sure that my position is known.
Yeah, I'll like it too.
Yeah. Okay, well, you know what, Jenna, I feel like I should just like make you a watch list for Valentine's Day that you should just watch after you watch Inception.
Yeah, I mean, I probably won't have time to watch like any movies on Valentine's Day, but it's a good thought.
You know what? You should watch West Side
5
Story
years.
on Valentine's Day, the original.
Yeah, but you see,
'Cause you
Mondays
haven't.
are like such a horrible day to watch movies, though.
No
And,
day
like,
is a horrible day to watch movies,
Okay,
Jenna.
okay. Fair point. But especially that Monday, because like I got the book club meeting on Monday, so I have that, which is great. Nowhere else I would rather be on Valentine's
I
Day.
have homework.
But then we also have like a thing later that night. Maybe I have to check my schedule. So I don't know if I'll be around.
Well, then just watch it on February 13th and don't finish it. And then finish it on February 14th so that you can say you finished it on Valentine's Day.
Okay.
I feel like I'm going to buy myself chocolates and watch my movies. And just, exist for a little while on that day. And then go to my obligation. And then probably do homework. Ugh. And then be done with it, Well,
Sounds like a
seeing
plan.
as we have kind of torn ourselves away from the discussion of the movie that we were supposed to be discussing, I'm going to conclude that we have nothing more to say about this movie except for the fact that if you like cheesy, bland romance, or you want something just mindful to watch, go ahead. If you like Laura Marano a lot, go ahead. If you think that Aladdin is hot, go ahead. Trust me, I will not blame you if that last one is you. But yeah, if you are looking for something to actually like stimulate your brain cells or anything, maybe not your best, maybe not your best choice, but like, I mean, you do you. If you want to start a scathing conversation about how bad this movie is in order to stimulate your intellectual side, then maybe it is a good choice for you. But otherwise, I don't think I have anything else to say about this movie. So if you liked what you heard, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. If you're not on YouTube, hello. You can probably follow us on whatever platform you're on right now. Like I said, we're usually more articulate than this. If you want to check us out on any other platforms, those are in our YouTube description. We have we're probably gonna have more videos coming out on this channel soon-ish. It's just been really busy in our lives lately, so we're gonna have like actual videos up here. So if you want to see any of those, definitely hit subscribe so you don't miss those when they come out. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Those are in the description below. And yeah, we post a new podcast episode every Friday, so be sure to check it out. I think I just covered everything. Jenna, anything to add?
Why was his haircut this bad in the first place? Like, he's literally a prince. Like, you think someone would have nipped that in the bud and be like, oh yeah, he needs a haircut. Like, really, that person should be fired. Then we wouldn't have had this movie at all. Something to consider.
Okay, bye!